children, 6 children, are in the courtroom at this point listening to all of this. And the jury was picked knowing that they needed a certain level of comfort to hear these types of descriptions. It was very emotional and really tough to hear, bro.
Is there any message for the alleged victims? Do you apologize on behalf of your father? Do you believe your father's innocent? Do you still convinced your father's innocent? Do you apologize on behalf of your father?
Combs' ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, she is one of Combs' many accusers, testifying as a central witness.
Is she ready?
Very ready and confident. Thank you.
Dramatic courtroom moment. All 3 Combs sisters made their first public appearance to stand behind their father, but within an hour, the emotional scene took a sharp turn. Arms wrapped around each other, they exited the courtroom in tears. So what explosive footage was revealed that left even Diddy's own daughters unable to stay and watch?
That video is arguably the most important piece of evidence because it sets the stage when we're talking about coercion or fraud or force.
We need you to step to the side. Step to the side, please.
Give us a little space. Give us a little space. Give us a little space.
Inside Manhattan's federal courtroom, a tense silence hung in the air before the trial kicked off. Cassie came forward with a bombshell, an unreleased video allegedly showing footage from one of Diddy's controversial freak-off events, which could be the smoking gun in the case against him. Prosecutors claimed the footage was critical, exposing a deeper layer of accusations surrounding Diddy, with potential ties implicating his family. As the court accepted the video as evidence, the Combs family exchanged anxious glances, like they sensed an irreversible storm was coming. Just moments in, Delilah urgently shielded her twin sister Jessie's eyes. Meanwhile, Chance and Justin remained glued to the screen as the image of a familiar woman suddenly emerged. Could it be Kim Porter? According to a witness, 8 videos were stored on the drive, showing 8 different celebrities at Diddy's freak-offs or exclusive parties, 6 men and 2 women. Also on the drive, a so-called memoir allegedly written by Kim Porter herself, but Diddy's 4 children claim the manuscript is completely fabricated. As murmurs rippled through the courtroom, the tension became unbearable. Without saying a word, all 3 sisters rose and walked out. So what exactly did that tape reveal, and why, on their very first show of support for their father, did they break down and walk away?
Beneath Manhattan's leaden sky, a bustling crowd converged on the federal courthouse where the trial of Sean Diddy Combs entered what seemed like just another day. Outside, reporters jostled for position, cameras flashed incessantly, and protest signs rose high, bearing the words "justice for the victims." Murmurs of speculation rippled through the throng, from curious onlookers to legal analysts, all sensing the weighty atmosphere before a trial promising high drama. Inside, the courtroom was packed, not a single seat vacant. Sketch artists' pens raced across paper, cameras clicked rhythmically, and the jury's gazes were steely, poised to dissect every detail. The air in that oak-paneled room felt compressed, each breath seeming to fight for existence.
The unexpected presence of the Combs family drew all eyes. For the first time since the scandal broke, the family's reserved seats were no longer vacant. Chance, Delilah, and Jessie, Diddy's 3 daughters, sat prominently in the front row, joined by Justin Dorr Combs, the defendant's son. They were impeccably dressed, their simple yet elegant attire radiating an unanticipated maturity. The girls' faces were stoic, their eyes seemingly concealing a web of intricate emotions. When the media inquired about their attendance, Chance responded with a calm but resolute voice, "We're here to support our father." Yet in their gazes something felt unfinished, a subtle void, as if they were steeling themselves for something far weightier than their words could express.
She said that Sean Combs directed everything from what she had on, to the lighting in the room, to how she was supposed to interact with the person that she was having sex with. And again, just to reiterate what is a freak-off, the freak-off essentially was something that Cassie said she learned about through Sean Combs about a year into their relationship. He described it as voyeurism, wanting to watch her have sex with someone else. And she said that she did it because...
Prosecutor Rachel Harper, a poised middle-aged woman with silver hair pulled into a tight bun and sleek glasses framing her sharp features, rose from the prosecution's side. Her voice rang out, measured but powerful, like the steady pulse of a drum signaling a turning point in the courtroom drama. Locking eyes with Cassie, she asked with chilling clarity, "Please describe for the court what has been called the freak-off and your involvement in those events." The room froze, every ear straining to catch what would come next. Cassie inhaled deeply, scanning the room before briefly locking eyes with Alex, who sat nearby, offering her a calm, unwavering stare. Drawing strength, she pursed her lips and finally spoke. Her voice low, steady, and determined, each word sounding like it had been pulled from a place of pain and truth.
I met Sean in 2005. I was 19, just signed to Bad Boy Records. He was a powerful man, an icon in the music industry. He promised to take me to the top, to make me a star. But what I got wasn't stardom, it was a trap.
She paused for a moment, eyes slowly moving across the faces of the jury, as if silently urging them to absorb the weight of what was coming. Around a year into our relationship, she began, he brought me into something he called the freak-off. He painted it as a way to relax, to push the limits and try new things. But for me, she said, her voice tightening, it felt like being trapped in a nightmare I couldn't escape.
What is a freak-off? The freak-off essentially was something that Cassie said she learned about through Sean Combs about a year into their relationship. He described it as voyeurism.
Cassie painted a disturbing picture of what she called highly orchestrated freak-off events, masterminded by Diddy, where he maintained total dominance. He called it voyeurism, she revealed, her voice trembling as buried trauma resurfaced. He didn't just watch, he controlled every single detail. From the lighting in the room to the outfits she was forced to wear, down to how much baby oil was applied so their skin would shine just the way he liked. It was all under his command. She recalled being sent to niche boutiques to buy revealing costumes, with Diddy personally deciding which pieces she had to put on. I didn't get a choice, she said firmly, locking eyes with the jury. If I pushed back, he'd threaten me. I felt caged, like there was no way out.
It depends on where the relationship goes. If it's something that you didn't want to share and it's your secret, it's your secret. I do believe in karma if you're hurting people.
According to Cassie, the freak-offs weren't just wild weekend parties. They were marathons of control, manipulation, and exhaustion. They could last anywhere from 36 to 72 hours, she testified, her voice shaking as she recalled the physical toll. One time it went on for 4 straight days. It became a weekly nightmare, like it was just part of my routine. Cassie revealed she was coerced into organizing the events, sourcing participants through Craigslist and high-end escort services. I was made to find people. I booked flights to places like Miami, New York, Louisiana, Vegas, even Abia, she said, her eyes dropping with visible shame. She detailed how Diddy's team, posing as recruiters, lured in new faces under false pretenses, all following his master plan. He had total control, she continued. He even directed the lighting, first candles, to fake intimacy, then full stage lighting, like we were shooting a scene and he was the director. Cassie alleged Diddy choreographed every movement, every act, and even enforced the use of illegal substances to manipulate the atmosphere. I remember texting him before one event, asking which pill to take from his stash, she said, her voice cracking. He told me exactly which one.
Now, with each moment, the testimony became more and more graphic. Her delivery, though, it never changed. It was matter of fact.
Even the courtroom reached a boiling point as Cassie's attorney, Samantha Klein, sharp-suited, brown hair pulled back, eyes like steel, rose to her feet. Your Honor, she announced with calm intensity, we request permission to present critical evidence from a 2018 freak-off, labeled as the White Party Archive. Gasps rippled through the room as the lights dimmed and all eyes turned to the courtroom screen. The footage began. A lavish oceanside mansion, palm trees swaying beneath neon lights, electronic beats pulsing through the air like a heartbeat. At first glance, it looked like a typical celebrity bash, but then came the shift. Faces came into focus. A billionaire in a white linen suit, a chart-topping singer with icy platinum hair, a model draped in sequins, but they weren't posing for paparazzi. They were caught in acts that blurred the line between hedonism and horror. This is not glamour, Klein said firmly. This is coercion. Cassie remained composed on the witness stand, her voice cutting through the silence. I wasn't just part of it, she said. I was made to organize everything. I handled the guest lists, arranged travel. I did it all under his instructions, but never willingly. The courtroom hung on every word as she delivered the final blow. He recorded everything, every freak-off. He kept the tapes as blackmail, his so-called insurance. If I ever defied him, he said he'd destroy me by leaking the footage. Her voice trembled, but her stare remained firm. I lived in fear every single day.
They might got into a little spat, a little fight, something went down, and Puff did that play fighting stuff that he always do, and that pillow fighting stuff, and probably smothered her.
Have a good evening, guys.
The air was sucked from the courtroom as the screen shifted, revealing a moment that shattered the room. A woman appeared on the couch. Her eyes were distant, unfocused, her expression vacant. The footage was grainy but unmistakable. Near it was Kim Porter, the late mother of Delilah and Jesse. Gasps broke out. In the front row, Chance covered her mouth, her hands trembling. Delilah and Jesse, seated side by side, froze. Their carefully held composure collapsed. Delilah clenched her sister's hand, her nails digging into Jesse's palm, anchoring herself. In the rising storm of shock and devastation, all three girls stared at the screen in horror, then turned their gaze to Diddy. The betrayal in their eyes said what words could not. On the screen, Kim Porter appeared disoriented, detached, as if sedated. Her presence in the video wasn't just disturbing, it was damning. What had been dismissed as a wild party now felt like a sinister trap. Once known for her strength, Kim now looked like a prisoner in her own skin, a haunting image that pierced through the courtroom's silence. Cassie's legal team didn't speak, they didn't need to. The footage said everything, and then came the question that no one dared ask aloud. Until now, Kim's death in 2018 was ruled as pneumonia, but after this revelation, murmurs grew louder. Was it really natural, or was it a cover-up, an intentional silence, to keep her from exposing the truth?
We're about to play the freak off videos, and guess who's sitting front row? Diddy's sons are in the courtroom this morning.
The courtroom erupted as Diddy, unable to control himself any longer, slammed his fist on the table. His chair tipped backward with a violent screech. "Stop the video now!" he shouted, his voice thick with fury, eyes bloodshot and blazing. "My children are here! You can't do this!" But his outburst was drowned out by the sound of Jesse's. Quiet sobs, sharp, cutting through the tension like a blade. In the front row, Chance's eyes were bloodshot, her face contorted with distress. Without a second thought, she sprang to her feet, pulling her trembling twin sisters along as she rushed them from the courtroom. The anguished cries of Delilah and Jesse echoed in the hallway, loud, raw, and heartbreaking. The room fell into stunned silence, the only sound now the hollow echo of grief. A juror lowered their head, hand covering their mouth, tears welling up in their eyes. In the back of the room, a reporter shook their head, whispering to a colleague, "This isn't just a trial, it's a tragedy." Outside in the cold hallway, Delilah clung tightly to Jesse as if holding on to the only anchor left in a world that had just turned upside down. The image of their mother on the screen, her vacant, unrecognizable stare had shattered everything. They knew it replaced the warm memories of Kim Porter, once a source of love and strength, with an overwhelming void. Delilah's mind flashed to quieter times when her mother had sung lullabies, her soft voice soothing their troubled hearts. But Jesse, overwhelmed with confusion, could barely whisper, "Why was Mom there?" Her question hung in the air, unanswered, weighed down by an all-consuming grief and a growing suspicion about the man they had once trusted above all else. Could it be true? Could Diddy, who had always claimed to love them unconditionally, have dragged their mother into this world of darkness? And could he have played a role in her untimely death? Diddy's attorney, Victor Langston, a towering figure with salt and pepper hair and a voice that could shake the heavens, rose to counter Miss Ventura. His eyes never left Cassie as he began. "You've described these events as if you had no agency whatsoever, Miss Ventura," he said, his tone measured yet sharp. But let's consider the context. You signed a 10-album deal with Bad Boy Entertainment. You lived in luxury, traveled the world, and attended extravagant gatherings. Is it possible you willingly participated in these freak-offs to secure your place in Mr. Combs' world? The question hit hard, like an arrow piercing the air. Cassie hesitated for a brief moment, the sting of the accusation sinking in. But she quickly took a deep breath, her eyes meeting Alex's, drawing strength from his unwavering presence. "No," she replied, her voice crisp and determined. "I didn't choose. I was coerced. What I received wasn't a reward. It was the price. I paid to survive. He controlled everything, my career, my friends, even my thoughts. I had no choice but to follow his demands, or I would lose everything." Her words rang out in the courtroom like a proclamation, causing a few jurors to nod. In subtle empathy, their eyes softening in understanding, Langston's voice dropped lower, as if trying to bait her into an admission. Miss Ventura, did you ever collaborate with others such as Miss Kim Porter to carry out these freak-offs at Mr. Combs' behest? Were you and Miss Porter willing participants enjoying the lifestyle he provided? The question sliced through the courtroom like a razor, reopening the raw wound of Kim Porter's death and the pain Diddy's family was fighting to keep hidden. Cassie shook her head, her eyes darkening with sorrow. "No," she said, her voice trembling but resolute. "Kim was trapped, just like me. We weren't complicit. We were victims of the same system. He made us feel like there was no way out, like everything we had, our careers, our families, our reputations, depended on pleasing him." The courtroom went quiet. Diddy remained seated, his finger tapping restlessly on the table. His gaze flickered briefly to the empty seats where his daughters had been, a quiet vulnerability flashing in his eyes. The video of Kim Porter, coupled with Cassie's testimony, had struck a deep, painful chord within him, one that reached far beyond his tarnished reputation. The appearance of the video had ripped open Diddy's greatest vulnerability, his love for his children. The image of Kim Porter, once the pillar of strength in his life, now a shadow of her former self, only intensified the trauma. The courtroom witnessed the raw, unfiltered reaction of his daughters, Delilah and Jesse, the children Diddy had always promised to protect, were shaken to the core. Their frantic flight from the courtroom, their cries echoing down the hallway, reverberated through the room. Public suspicion soon began to grow. Why were Kim Porter's children present at this pivotal moment? Could their attendance be a calculated move to target Diddy's weakest point, his devotion to them? While Delilah and Jesse fled in tears, Chance and Justin remained poised, their expressions unreadable, fixed on Diddy as if challenging him. The contrast was striking. Did Chance and Justin truly believe in their father, or was their icy composure a sign of something deeper, perhaps even a growing readiness to confront the truth? For years, the media had painted the Combs family as a beacon of unity, especially after Kim Porter's tragic death in 2018. Yet as Chance and Justin appeared at the trial, their presence was far from simple support. It hinted at a silent power struggle, a rivalry masked in stoic expressions and carefully measured glances. Chance, Diddy's daughter with Sarah Chapman, had grown up in the shadows of Kim Porter's legacy. Though not Kim's biological child, Chance had always been an outsider in the family dynamic. Kim's children, adored and doted upon, seemed to have everything Chance lacked: warmth, connection, and the comfort of a mother's love. Then there was Justin, Diddy's eldest son with Misa Hilton. Known for his sharp mind and quiet intensity, Justin had always been the strategist. The loss of Kim Porter hadn't softened him. Instead, it had hardened him into a figure capable of navigating the brutal world of his father's empire, using calculated decisions to maintain the family's name and legacy. In the months leading up to the trial, rumors began to circulate. Word had leaked that Diddy had strictly forbidden any of his family members from attending. Yet, despite his directive, Chance, Delilah, and Jesse appeared, their presence on the day the video was unveiled seeming too perfectly timed to be a coincidence. What was behind their decision to attend? Was it simply a desire to support their father, or was there something more? Could Justin, with his sharp intuition, have orchestrated the entire event, knowing exactly how to play his family's emotions to achieve his own ends? The whispers grew louder as the trial continued. Some suggested Justin had been the one to ensure the 2018 White Party video found its way to Cassie's lawyer, Samantha Klein. That video, which captured Kim Porter in a vulnerable state, was no random discovery. Confidential sources hinted that Justin had used his network to funnel the footage into the hands of those who could use it as a weapon. If the rumors were true, Justin's actions weren't just about confronting his father, they were part of a larger scheme. He had allegedly arranged for discreet security for Cassie and Alex Fine, ensuring their safety as they navigated the perilous waters of Diddy's world. Cassie's testimony, delivered with piercing clarity, painted a harrowing portrait of years spent under Diddy's control. Chance, Delilah, and Jesse, sitting in the front row, wrestled with their own turmoil. Chance, caught between loyalty and the painful truth, tried to mask her inner conflict. Delilah and Jesse, unaware of the deeper machinations at play, still gazed at their father with love. But when the white party footage was shown and Kim Porter's image appeared on the screen, it shattered everything. Delilah and Jesse fled, sobbing, their cries echoing through the hallway. Diddy leapt to his feet, roaring in fury to stop the video, his eyes burning with rage. Yet his gaze lingered on Chance and Justin, sensing something shifting in them, an unspoken understanding that he could no longer control. Chance met his eyes with a steady gaze, her expression unreadable, her resolve hardening. Justin, arms crossed and unmoved by his father's wrath, stood silent, his mind already calculating the next move in a game he had long understood. As the trial unfolded, speculation about the motivations behind Chance and Justin's actions continued to build. Was Justin truly seeking revenge? Was Chance simply searching for the truth? Or was there something far more complex at play? The public was left to ponder the answers. And in the courtroom, the tension thickened. Was Diddy merely a man who had created a world of excess and indulgence? Or was there something far darker lurking beneath his empire?